Hey guys, Danger here. I've done another relocation of my desk, which I'm pretty proud of. I've finally got some of my posters up on the wall, which is pretty exciting. So I don't have anything too big today, but I was just watching an episode of Supergirl, I think a couple weeks ago, and spoiler alert, by the way. In this episode, I think this is Mr. Mitsspitlik, I think. He's like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of character. He comes in to the show, wants to marry Supergirl, and says she'll have all this power. And of course, you know, there's this whole like love thing between the Kal-El character, right? That happens throughout the show, the second season of the show. And so you know that it's really a filler episode as far as these things go. But what bothered me, right, what really bothered me was, at first I was like, okay, you know, like, yeah, okay, she'll get all this power, but it's not really meaningful, right? A, she's not going to be doing it, and B, like, it just doesn't make sense. It just, like, wouldn't work, you know? He's going to take her off to some mystical place. But one of the last lines of that this character speaks, he says to Supergirl, basically, blah blah blah, do whatever you want, but don't blow up. She has a cool plan where she like basically tricks him into like typing his name to stop an explosion that would kill both of them, or at least kill her, right? And so the semantics doesn't mean the details, you know, it's not really important. But what ends up happening, right, is he does get sent back. But right before he gets sent back, when he's begging with her to give him a way to stop it, which she does, which is like his name, and then he goes away. He says, "I'll do whatever you want. I'll solve." Like, I don't know if he said like world hunger or like make all wars stop. And I just thought to myself, like, up until that point, I could like suspend. You know, I had some suspension of disbelief that I could hold on to, like. Oh, okay, well, you know, obviously, first of all, this is like it's a filler episode that's totally driven by plot, so it doesn't really, it's like almost irrelevant in the storyline, right? It's just to tie the characters together while they're coming up with some other big thing or doing whatever. So, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, wait a second. This guy would be willing to stop all world hunger? I mean, this is, okay. This is the thing, right? Like, maybe you could say, oh, well, he wouldn't really do that, right? Like, he's lying. He's a liar. But I'm like, at this point, I'm, like, pretty convinced this character's legitimately like, yeah, I'll do literally whatever you want. Like, if you marry me, like, you might not be happy, but I could literally solve all of your planet's problems. And I was thinking to myself, like, if I was in that situation, right? Or, more importantly, Supergirl being in that situation, it's pretty selfish to be like, nah, man, like, I'm not interested in you. Like, I know you can solve all the world's problems just by snapping your fingers, but nah. And I'm just like, you know, there's something to be said for, like, earning it for yourself, right? I get that. But if someone is literally offering you, like, world peace, like, right, this is, like, you have to understand, right? Kara, at this point in this show, she's basically like, you know what? It's more important for me to be romantic. Alright, my computer is just like, woo. But it's more important for her to be romantically involved with this character and prove some point about something than it is for her to be like, oh, well, I know I'm really powerful, and I want to, and, like, for me, it's important to, like, do things for the, it's, like, completely pointless. Like, it makes no sense. I just keep, like, running it through my mind. Like, in what possible way could this actually be? I just don't, like, it's awful. It's awful, terrible writing. Like, you can't do that. Like, I almost feel like this show is, like, ironic. Like, this show is satirical. Like, showing this character that has all these powers that could literally stop all crime within a city in, like, a day, and then chooses to essentially have their own... I'm only recording this once, So if this thing cuts out again, I'm just gonna keep going. She chooses to have her own life, which I can kind of admire a little bit. Not really. I mean, like, if Batman had Superman's powers or Supergirl's powers, there wouldn't be any crime. Like, I don't get this whole point of like, you have all this power, but don't worry, it's totally 100% okay to have like a regular, normal life. Because, like, I guarantee you, there's no way that in a city as big as the city they're talking about, a crime occurs once every like 30 minutes. You know, like, no, that's not how it's dumb. The whole thing is just dumb. But like, it just becomes so much more dumb when you look at it and you're like, oh, this show is actually it's pranking itself. Like, I think the writers actually hate the show, and they're like, look at this hella ironic show about this character who has all these powers, but instead worries about all their problems. Like, I feel like it's like telling us to look at ourselves with all the things we have in America and just in first world countries and all the things that we complain about, like TV shows, and just be like, oh, we could actually be doing like real shit to help people, and instead we're spending our time like worried about ourselves. Like, I feel like that's what the show is saying. Like, I think someone in the writers group is like, you know what? I could make this show, or it could just all be ironic. Like, the entire thing could be irony. Like all the other shows do a pretty good job of like, I think, balancing this out. Like Arrow, right? The guy he only does stuff during the night because he actually like does real shit during the day for the most part. Like, yes, he has a life to live, but he's also like, you know, like later on in the series, spoiler, he's like a mayor and shit. So he's like doing real shit. And like Flash, he works at CSI, so he has a real job that he's doing shit with. And like Kara, okay, yeah, she's like being a reporter, but like her powers are also way stronger than Arrow's. Basically the same strength as Flash, but even more strong. Like Flash, like he can solve crimes like he's like that, right? Like in between the job, he'd be like, oh, there's a crime happening, boom, I'm just gonna go immediately solve that. There's no reason why Kara couldn't do that too. And like technically maybe she does do that, like in the show, but like at the same time she could be doing a lot more because like Flash is strong, right? But he can't like, I don't know. Okay, I guess technically within the realm of superheroes, like, I don't know. It's just bad. It's bad. That's it. That's all I have to say. This was Screen Rant number 1 about the CW. Just the quality difference between their shows is like, all right. That's all I have for today. I'm out.